The brain uses what percentage of the body's energy? 2%, 10%, 20%, 50%. Correct answer is C, 20%. The adult brain weight between 1300 to 1400 grams, which represents about 3% of our body total weight, yet it represents 20% of our body energy. Relative to our body size, the human brain is bigger than that of any other animal. What is not found in gray matter? A major component of the brain. A. Dora matter, glial cells, nerve cells, capillaries. The correct answer is A. Dora matter. Gray matter is made up of nerve cells, neurons, and capillaries held together by a network of glial cells, which provides support, protection, and nutrition to the neuron, as well as help transmit electrical impulses from neuron to neuron. It is estimated that the glial cells outnumbers neurons by about 1 to 10. That's a lot given that estimates of neurons range from 10 to 100 billion or even more. Dora matter is one of three members that physically protect the brain. Which statement is true of gray matter? It is a primary source of intelligence. B. It is located mainly in the frontal lobe. It processes information. It is a dominant type of nervous tissues in the brain. Correct answer is C. It processes information. Gray matter, which makes up about 40% of the brain, is responsible to processing of information. White matter, which makes up about 60% of the brain, is important for the transmitting the information from one part of the central nervous system to another. While we often associate the paras using our gray matter for intelligence, recent research has found that both gray and white matter is important for the intellectual skills. Men use more gray matter from right across the brain for intellectual function, whereas women use more white matter. Most of the white and gray matter used by women is located in the frontal lobe. What is not a part of the brain? Cerebellum, brainstem, foramen magnum, cerebrum. Correct answer is C. Foramen magnum. Magnum. Foramen magnum, the brain is made up for three primary areas: the forebrain, midbrain, and hindbrain. The forebrain consists of the cerebrum and the top part of the brainstem. The midbrain, made up for the middle part of the brain stem, joins the forebrain, the hindbrain, and hindbrain includes the bottom part of the brain stem and cerebellum. The foramen magnum is the hole in the base of the skull where the bottom of the brain stem, the medulla oblongata, meets the spinal cord. Which area of the brain is not part of the cerebral cortex? Frontal lobe, cerebellum, partial lobe, temporal lobe. Correct answer is B. Cerebellum. The cerebellum cortex, the largest part of the cerebrum, is divided into four areas: the frontal, temporal, parietal, partial, and occipital lobe. The cerebral cortex is responsible for high-level skills such as intelligence, personality, and planning, as well as sensory perception and motor function. The cerebellum, which is the second largest part of the brain, sits at the base of the brain. It is very important for motor coordination, posture, and balance. A third part of the brain stem, controls many of the other automatic functions. Which part of the brain moves the right side of your body? Left parietal lobe, left frontal lobe, right temporal lobes, right frontal lobes? Answer is B, left frontal lobe. Primary motor area is located at the back of the frontal lobe where it joins the parietal lobe. Stimulation of neurons on the left side of the area of the brain will result in movement on the right side of your body and vice versa. Which part of the brain is important for language comprehension? Wernicke's area, circle of Willis, Arshus, gyrus, Schwann cells. Correct answer is A, Wernicke's areas. Named after the German neurologist Karl Wernicke, the small area located on the left hemisphere of the brain where the parietal lobe and temporal lobe meet is important for the comprehension of language. It is connected to Broca's areas named after the French surgeon Paul Broca, which is also involved in language comprehension and in the production of meaningful sentences. Which task would not be affected by damage to the right partial lobe? Recognizing shapes, dressing, doing arithmetic, writing. Correct answer is D, writing. The partial lobe located behind the frontal lobe is responsible for integrating sensory and visual information and is critical to how we receive our world. Damage to right partial lobe can be caused the problems recognizing the left side of our body, planning basic tasks such as how to dress ourselves, read maps, draw shapes, recognize objects, or do arithmetic. Damage the left partial lobe cause problems such as telling left from right and inability to write or count and speech disorders. What part of the brain stem regulates your heartbeat? Pons, medulla, hypothalamus, thalamus. Correct answer is B, medulla. The medulla oblongata is located in the lower part of the brain stem and is responsible for maintaining basic human functions that keeps us alive, such as regulating breathing, heartbeat, and blood pressure. The pons also play a role regulating breathing. The thalamus relays sensory information such as pain and temperature from the spinal cord and cerebellum to the cerebral cortex, while the hypothalamus controls functions such as regulating the body temperature and release of hormones. Which corneal nerve allows us to chew food? Facial, abducens, torticollis, trigeminal. Correct answer is D, trigeminal nerve. There are 12 corneal nerves, 10 of which emerge directly from the brain stem. These nerves are responsible for a number of sensory functions: sight, hearing, smell, taste, and introvert muscles and in the face and throat that control of functions such as eye and tongue movement, chewing, swallowing, and facial expression. The fifth corneal nerve, also called the trigeminal nerve, supplies the facial muscles used for chewing, whereas the seventh corneal nerve, also called the facial nerve, supplies the muscles used in facial expression such as smiling.